Alright, so we're checking out a super large power station in this video. This is the DaranEner NEO2000. So this is how the company name is spelled, DaranEner. They're new. I haven't reviewed any of their power stations previously. I think they have only 2 currently and some solar panels coming out in about a month. I'll talk about that shortly. But this is their largest model. It's 56.6 pounds, or about 25.6 kilograms, measures 18.7 by 13.6 by 10.2 inches, has a capacity of 2,073.6 watt hours, so by far the largest I think I've reviewed. 2,000 watt pure sine wave inverter, which will burst to 3,000 watts, which is absolutely massive for those 3 AC outlets. And that large inverter is also used for fast charging the LFP cells inside the power stations. So yeah, it will charge up really fast. I think in about 1.8 hours it'll go from 0 to 100% at that fast speed rating, which is much faster than a lot of other power stations on the market right now. Here's a quick look at the power station. Typical handles here on the top. You have this wireless charging pad here on top as well, so it will charge up to 10 watts for your smartphones and other wireless charging devices. On the left side you've got an exhaust fan for the inverter, and on the right side you've got an inlet fan. That's to cool down the power station. On the back you have a 3-watt LED light with a button to change different modes. 100% brightness, 50% brightness, strobe mode, and SOS mode. And on the bottom you got some very large rubber feet as well as a sticker with the specs, and we'll show you the specs here in the manual shortly. So of course with everything that comes in the box, you get the power station, you get a manual, a warranty card, a thank you card, you get this AC power cord. And I would recommend using this one because charging it off the wall at that fast rate, the cord does get really warm if you use a thinner cord, so use this one. You get a XD60 to MC4 adapter, and this is mainly for using solar panels. And then you get this USB-C to USB-C cable. I think this one is only rated to 60 watts according to the sticker. The USB-C ports on here are actually rated to 100 watts, so USB-C power delivery, and then you have 4 USB-A quick charge 3.0 ports. So all the big ports are covered with these little plastic covers, and they just basically attach via friction to the actual plug. And so you have 3 of these for AC, and then they just kind of snap into place like so. Same with the inlet and the outlet here. So you have this inlet port here. This is where you're going to charge the power station. So that's where the AC cord plugs in, and this is your XD60 plug. And this is an overload protection button. So if you happen to overload the AC inverter, this will kick in, and then this is a reset button. So it will pop out. You press that in, and that'll reset the power station. Of course, when the protection kicks in, it will shut down everything in the power station. And this does have a very, what we call smart BMS, so it has all the typical protections that most power stations will have, overload protection, overcurrent protection, thermal protection in terms of low temperature and high temperature, etc., and also short circuit prevention protection as well. Over here on this side is the DC outlet side, so you have a cigarette lighter, adapter plug, 12 volts at 10 amps, and then you have these. I think these are 5521 DC plugs, and these are also, I believe, 10 amps. You get 4 of these. No cables for these, so you have to source your own 5521 cables. The 2 sections here are going to be turned on via these buttons. I think if you long press them for 3 seconds, it'll turn them on. So this one here will turn on the DC section, which is all the USB ports as well as the DC outlets here, as well as the wireless charging up on top. So just go ahead and turn that on. You can see the panel light up. You can see our current capacity here. This little wireless button showing, or this little wireless icon here showing that the wireless pad is active. And you have 879 hours of available time. Of course, there's 0 watts being drawn. This is basically just if no power is being drawn, but when you actually have a whole bunch of stuff plugged in. It will show you here the power draw in terms of the total power draw in terms of watts, and how much time is available to you in terms of remaining time. So obviously this is, for a large capacity power station as this, you're going to either be able to charge up a lot of devices, like smaller devices, or you're going to be able to charge up or use high-powered devices for a longer period of time. That's what the larger amount of capacity will give you. On the product page, I do give you an idea of what various other devices might give you in terms of power on time, and it's all based on the power usage of that particular device, or the wattage. So obviously you just divide the wattage into the capacity, and that'll give you a general idea of how many hours you can use that particular device on this power station. So this power station does have a rated number of cycles up to 3,500, which is kind of crazy. Basically, you could charge and discharge this from full to empty 3,500 times, which is basically like once a day for almost 10 years. And after 3,500 cycles, it's still going to give you about 80% capacity. So that's roughly 1,600 watt hours after about 10 years if you're charging and discharging this full to empty every day for 10 years, which is kind of crazy. So that's the advantage of the lithium iron phosphate chemistry that's inside here, the LFP packs. They're not what most people would think of maybe from power stations maybe a year ago. They had a lot of like 18650 cells or 21700 lithium ion cells. Those are a different chemistry that has less cycles than this one. This one, that's sort of the trend now, is a lot of the power stations are coming with these LFP chemistries and providing a lot more cycles, which at the same time will give you a longer warranty. So they will, out of the box, give you a 2-year warranty on this power station. However, if you fill out the warranty card here and register your warranty, I guess, with the company, they will add on an additional 3 years of warranty to this. So they give you a total of 5 years warranty. Of course, this thing will probably outlive that warranty by a wide margin based on the performance statistics that they've given on the product page. So I do want to talk about the solar charging capability of this power station here. So this uses an XT60 connector, which, if you guys are familiar with EcoFlow products, this is a pretty similar setup to the way EcoFlow power stations work. You have an AC plug like this, and then you have an XT60. However, this power station has a different voltage range compared to most EcoFlow products. So it's 33 to 60 volts on the XT60 input. It does have a MPPT solar charge controller for charging up the batteries via solar panels, but because of the 33 to 60 volt voltage range, you are limited to, I think most likely 36 volt solar panels, and that's that's not uncommon. I think 18 volts are more common. That's what I have. I have most of mine. I think all of mine are 18 volts. So you can either combine 2 sets of 18 volt solar panels in series to charge up this power station, which because my solar panels are different brands, I don't have the adapters to put them into series. But if they were the same brand, then you could possibly do that with some MC4 connectors. And of course, you can probably do it if you have the proper adapters for those connectors. But the other issue here is that because the voltage range is kind of on the high side, 33 volts, you can't use like a cigarette lighter adapter and plug it into your car and charge it off the 12 volt cigarette lighter power source on your car. This won't work for that, unlike the EcoFlow products that will work off of 12 volts. And just a quick run through of the manual here. I'm not going to cover everything in the manual. The manual is pretty good, but here are the basic specs on the USB ports. There's 4 of them, the USB-A ports and the USB-C, up to 100 watts on power delivery. And again, this is the voltage limitation on the solar charging XT60 port, 33 to 60 volts, 20 amps, and a max of 600 watts. So of course I did test this power station on the DC side, and I plugged in pretty much everything here, all 4 USB ports as well as the 2 USB-C ports. And yeah, it's pretty hard to get to 2,000 watts on just the DC side. Obviously the 2,000 watts is going to be used on the AC side. However, One of the things I wish this power station had was more ports in general, like additional, especially USB ports, because it's mostly the stuff that I charge. And so it's something that you can easily resolve. You can pick up one of these little GAN power bricks wall adapters. This is like a 66 watt here from a company called Unitech, and you just plug that into the AC, one of these AC plugs, and it'll give you some additional USB ports. Yeah, so if you want to get some additional USB ports, this is one solution. They did send me along this power brick as well as this memory card reader. Unitech does have a number of other electronic products and gears on their Amazon store. I'll link that store in the video description. Now, of course, I think the main advantage of this power station are the AC outlets and the 2000 watt inverter. So it's going to be pretty hard to get to that 2000 watts or even the 3000 watts bursting. I did do the test on the hairdryer and the heat gun, and it's able to handle that no problem whatsoever. But of course, if you're taking this out camping or if you're boondocking, etc., you want that extra power to be able to maybe use power tools or some other high power devices. This 2000 watt inverter is definitely going to be working out really well for you. Anyway, that's going to cover for this video. Let me know if you got any questions about this down in the comment section below. I'll link this and the other products in the video description. That's going to do it for this one. Talk to you guys in the next video.